Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back for another Total War video with the Terminator. Of all the Total War games, Empire is definitely one of, if not the most ambitious in the series. It was the first iteration of the brand new Warscape engine that we still use today, and from the visually stunning naval combat or the gunpowder skirmishes of the battles to the awesome new technology trees, getting into this game for the first time when it released was just an amazing time. But it did have its issues. The AI often didn't know how to use the systems it came with, and it is generally everyone's first complaint about the game. The Warscape engine, while decent enough for ranged combat, showed its issues when it came to melee scuffles, and just from a will this game run properly perspective, it was quite unstable compared to other titles. Luckily though, we have the passionate modding community that have worked for years to make it an absolute gem of a game. Today's spotlight is on one such mod that, while has been years in the making, has only recently been made publicly available. Empire Total War 2 may still have a little while to go to match up the likes of Darthmod or Imperial Splendour, but in today's video I'm going to show you all its unique features and why you definitely need to check it out. So let's get started. With over 2,500 unique units, over 39 playable factions including some unlocked factions from the base game, to improved campaign and battle AI, to new gameplay mechanics like diseases, disasters, and unique event messages and dilemmas, Empire Total War 2 does some pretty amazing stuff for the game, and the essential objective here is to make it a bit closer to what we could imagine an Empire 2 to be like, with historical accuracy and great new gameplay mechanics. In the campaign, one of the biggest and most immersive additions is the events and dilemmas. Every turn you'll get these unique messages on the top left corner of your screen that range from giving you a faction-specific mission to telling you there's a political conspiracy within your cabinet. These messages give you a direction in your economic development, your political situation, as well as expansionary policy, which you don't need to do, but just add some much-needed flavor to Empire as you play out your campaign. The mod also comes with the ever-popular Verdance Disease mod. VDM is an absolute beast that adds things like random smallpox, cholera, or flu outbreaks. It adds a chance of fleets hitting storms in the open sea in transit, disasters like earthquakes and volcanic eruptions, as well as a reworked trait system for your ministers, actual inflation, proper religion and cultures, and more, all of which have large impacts across your faction and the way you play your game. A lot of the work on the campaign comes directly from VDM, so if you're familiar with it, you'll be right at home here in Empire Total War 2. And if you've never heard of it, then prepare yourself for an Empire with loads more to play with. And then there's the AI, and playing as both Great Britain and the Ottoman Empire, there were multiple occasions where the AI was more challenging than in vanilla, often invading my lands, responding to my invading armies, and being proactive on the diplomacy side as well. There's obviously the question of whether any of these new systems and mechanics, especially from VDM, actually affect the AI behavior, and I'm not 100% convinced, to be honest. But at the very least, much like Darthmod or other major mods for Empire, the AI does seem a bit smarter about its decision making. Also, it's definitely worth mentioning that as well as the usual factions, we've also got loads of unlocked factions like Savoy, the Barbary States, Cherokee Nations, or Persia. All of these factions have new units, unique faction events and messages, and despite the outdated descriptions for them here, they are actually playable. I've had a gander at Savoy, for example, which has a brilliant unit roster, a very cool starting position, and swiftly got into a war with France, which has been a lot of fun. All of these together, from new mechanics and systems, great new factions and unit rosters, and what seems like a proactive and even at times aggressive AI, means that yes, Empire Total War 2 does have a decent campaign to get into. There may be some balance issues here and there between factions and rosters, the research rate might be a bit too long for some people, and there may be some bugs still yet to iron out, but All in all, the campaign is a really fun time. And then there are the impressive battles, to say the least. First and foremost, we have new sound and visual effects, including new music, which comes from a variety of sources that does a really good job of hyping you up. The gunshot and cannon fire has been redone to sound more realistic and impactful. The smoke effects as well have seen a visual overhaul that looks awesome, and even the cries of your men dying in the battlefield has been done a bit more justice. And then of course we have the new 2,500 units across every playable faction. Some have been brought over from other mods like Darthmod, AUM, and Imperial Destroyer, with their permission of course, while others are completely new, done from the ground up. And to be honest, the mod does a really good job of combining the best of all of these mods and meshes them up to make it all look and play really good. You can tell there's been some serious effort to make each faction feel unique and make battles feel engaging and interesting to look at, especially with the sheer number of units to unlock and technologies. You're constantly discovering new units to play with in the campaign, and it makes a big difference in your battles. Finally, Empire Total War 2 does claim that battle AI is improved, and for the most part, I have to agree. Both in the naval and land battles that I've played so far, there is more AI aggression and smarter decisions. There are still occasions where a unit is doing something random or not doing anything at all until the very last second when I'm shooting at them, but overall, the AI is either a lot more defensive when on the back foot, or a lot more aggressive when it thinks it has an edge or superior numbers. Battles in this mod are decently done, guys, so it definitely gets the box ticked in my books. At the end of the day, Empire Total War 2 is at a great start here to being a really good mod for Empire. There's some impressive looking units, great replayability across the factions, brilliant additions to campaign gameplay mechanics, nicely done music to bring it all to life, and an AI that at times is more impressive than in vanilla. It may not be as good as Darthmod or Imperial Splendour just yet, but it's definitely getting there. Update 2.0 for the mod was just released as well a few days ago, which stabilizes the mod quite a bit and fixes lots of bugs and crash issues, but the installation can be a bit confusing. So before ending the video here, I'm just going to go through a very quick installation guide for you. First off, go on the ModDB page and download both part 1 and 2 of the mod. Then get either WinRAR or WinZip to unzip these files. So when ready, just choose to extract part 1 of the file into your desktop. You don't need to extract part 2 as it does this automatically. Then you need to do two things. First, go into the mod folder you just extracted, go into Empire Total War, and copy everything in data and paste it into your own game folder's data file. And make sure to say yes, replace everything when prompted. Second, go into the scripts folder and VDM folder and copy the user scripts file and put this into the directory on your screen now. The final step here is that the modder recommends you play with Net Framework 3.5 enabled, because that's what Empire was built for. But personally, I don't. I haven't had any issues with the mod just yet. If I do, I will, and I can make a separate guide for you, or if you have issues, you can get onto my Discord and ask me, but otherwise, you should be good to go here. And that's it for today, guys. Empire Total War 2 is brand new, it plays really well, and I definitely recommend it. It's fresh off the block with a unique take on the game that combines great elements from other mods and adds its own cool features as well to the campaign and to battles. Link to the mod is in the video description below, so get in there and check it out. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and found it informative. Subscribe for more Total War content, gameplay, and news, and consider supporting me directly by becoming a member, signing up on Patreon, or buying me a coffee. Any and all support is greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.